Hello there, I am reasonably British, and this is the Audioscape 76A limiting amplifier, but the youth of today would call this a compressor. If you're one of the hip kids, one of the cool kids, you'd call it a blue stripe, because I'm not actually sure why they call it that. Maybe it's because it is a clone of the 1176 compressor, which was originally designed by some guy who did some stuff and then some more stuff, but in a different place, and who the hell cares? Of all the compressors of note, this is likely the most noted. And this is my third 1176 clone. Not third because I have so much experience with outboard compressors, no. Third because the first two kind of sucked. And if you own one of the two I'm going to mention and you love it, that's okay. You're far from the first person to be wrong. Plenty of people have been wrong before. I mean, think of all the people who have moved to Florida. Think of all the people you know personally who have moved to Florida. Then multiply that by 8.3 billion, because no matter where you live, no matter where you were born, everyone knows 3 people who have moved or will move to Florida, and they were all wrong. The first one I tried was the Lindell Audio Lin 76, because of course, how could I not? The Lin 76 is so cheap, and boy did it feel cheap. I mean, all the parts, the buttons, the meter on an 1176 are already so oversized. You feel like you're playing with those big Legos that you get before your parents trusted you not to stick the normal-sized Legos up your nose. But all this matters less if it sounds good, and, well, it does the job. It does both limit and amplify, but I was underwhelmed. To my ears, it didn't quite match up to even some of the software versions I had been using. So I stepped up a bit to the Warm Audio WA76A. The build quality was much better, the feature set was impressive, the sound was perhaps a tad better than the Lindell. For 800 monetary units, I was again a bit underwhelmed by the sound. I had heard great things about the Audioscape, and it was just about the same price. So that brings us to today. And this thing is just lovely. It has less features compared to the current generation Warm Audio counterpart, but the build quality of the Audioscape is wonderful. The first thing I noticed was how pleasing this black matte finish on the case was. It feels like those frosted matte plastic bags that electronics come in nowadays. I mean, this is going to live in a rack, so no one is even going to see the case finish, but someone put extra thought and effort into simply painting the case black, and I think they deserve acknowledgement. But the real good stuff is inside the case, because this is just beautiful. This is an OCD wet dream. It's so organized. All the wires are zip-tied. The PCB layouts are exquisite. Look at this row of resistors. Look! They put these transistors in sockets so you can just pop them in and out. And do you know how I know this is a transistor? Besides the whole transistory shape it's got, because they labeled it. Look at all the labels. Oh, it makes me so happy. Look how beefy those resistors are. And every component is like that, from the XLR connectors to the pots to this apparently custom transformer. Oh, it makes you feel all warm and cozy inside. This was built like a tank and designed for repairability. There aren't any surface mount components. Even these internal adjustment pots are beefy. Neither of the circuit boards are soldered to an external component. Everything is connected via JST or Phoenix connector, which means every part in here was designed to be easily replaced. Oh, I'm so happy. And how does it sound? Oh boy, I do think the Audioscape gives you that extra 10%. You know, that extra 10% that makes it one of the magic boxes that makes anything you put through it sound better. And you can turn the compression off and just use it as a color box through which it allows a substantial amount of saturation that looks like this. As you raise the input gain, harmonics are added in a very smooth curve. You're not going to hit a sudden wall of distortion, and although I risk angering the copyright gods, I feel like hearing what this does to a voice we all know will be the most telling.
All the colors of the world should be loving each other wholeheartedly. All the colors of the world should be loving each other wholeheartedly. Yes, it's all right. Take my message to your brother and tell him twice. Spread the word and try to teach the man who is hating his brother when hate won't do. Cause we're all the same. Yes, the blood inside of me is inside of you. Now tell me, can you feel it? Now tell me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Yeah, yeah.
Sing aloud, because we want to make a crowd. Yeah, touch your hand and sing a sound so pure, salvation rings.
Tell me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Yeah, yeah. Woo!
Now, this thing isn't perfect close, but no, I wouldn't want you to think this is perfect, or worse, that this video might be sponsored. It is not sponsored, and it is not perfect. There's this. I guess it's no big deal, but I noticed it. It also took a month or so to get. They had to make it, apparently, but if you're the kind of person who is ordering this, I think you're probably okay with the wait. You might even get some satisfaction out of knowing they're making it just for you. They didn't start making it until you put your order in. Handmade by these fine people in Daytona Beach, mother Oh, and just some closure on the mismatched buttons on my SSL channel strips. I asked SSL, and it turns out the buttons just pop on and off. It was super easy to swap them. One of the 4,000 strips also had a single incorrect button. I contacted SSL, and they sent a button out to me, no paperwork, no charge, and they were unaware of my vast YouTube fan base. I must compliment their customer support team. None of the channel strips have had any actual electronics issues. I'm giving SSL the benefit of the doubt that they just had one drunk Canadian on their assembly line. Besides that, they've been excellent. Again, not sponsored. Penis, poop, boob, perineum, bi.